Another day, another update about Patrick Kane, Chicago Blackhawks franchise forward and trade piece. I just wanted to say, quickly, right off the bat before we get into this, Patty Kane, if you're watching this video, please don't crucify me because I made the entire thing talking about how you wanted the Toronto Maple Leafs. I said it because Carly Koliakovo said it on TSN. And later on, we had Patrick Kane himself saying to the media, no, I didn't really think that was going to be an option. You kind of have to choose and pick your sources and who you listen to because the media goes out there and spells some crazy things around this time of the year. So, Patty Kane, even though he's directly talking to Carly Koliakovo by proxy, I feel kind of bad because I also made that video, but either way, he went out there, confirmed that he was not really interested in the Maple Leafs, or he didn't think that he would be a Maple Leaf, and I also wanted to say another thing that was relating to Patty Kane too. This guy kind of carried me in fantasy this week. Like, Nazem Kadri had a pretty inconsistent showing, Bo Horvat obviously got traded, and then you have all the other players that I have, but nobody stood out more than Patty Kane, who came alive with 5 goals in 2 games, 2 goals against the Ottawa Senators, and then a hat trick plus an assist against the Maple Leafs. That's kind of why there was the window of opportunity for reporters to ask Patty Kane about the rumors of him wanting to go to Toronto, but thank you so much, Patty Kane. Thank you so much, Alex DeBrincat. The dynamic duo strikes again, albeit on very different sides of the coin, to help me get past my quarterfinal championship match and make it to the semifinals, where I'll be facing... Who am I playing this week? I'm not sure. But either way, Patty Kane himself shot down the Toronto rumors, and now we had ourselves Elliotte Friedman, who had himself a segment on Tim and Friends, where he was asked whether or not the Patty Kane sweepstakes will actually find itself a winner. He says yes, that Patty Kane will be traded, and when they asked what teams are going to be a fit, he says Vegas or maybe Edmonton. Now, Vegas is intriguing, and there's a reason we're using that Patty Kane Vegas swap in the thumbnail again. It's because earlier last weekend, or this previous weekend, I guess you could say instead, the Vegas Golden Knights put $9.5 million Mark Stone on their LTIR, opening up all that cap space and giving them ample opportunity to maybe make a trade and get somebody else. It's funny because on Cap Friendly, the tweet that they made, talking about how Stone is on the LTIR, the first reply, Brennan Brisson chuckles, I'm in danger. It's the old Simpsons meme. And Brennan Brisson is a prospect the Vegas Golden Knights have. And you've known that based off of the pattern this Golden Knights team has exhibited the past few years, they are very adept to trading prospects away. Peyton Krebs, Nick Suzuki, Cody Glass, Eric Bronstrom, they've traded away so many names, and Brendan Brisson is probably the most valuable guy the Vegas Golden Knights have in their prospect pool right now, so... If you're talking about 9.5 AAV coming off the books, or technically it's still on the books, but opening up, I guess you could say, and the Golden Knights getting themselves another player that can help them out in the playoffs, Brendan Brisson is probably going to go the other way because he is there by default. Now, if you want to talk about the possibilities here, we've already made a video just a few days ago about Edmonton and how Patty Kane might be an Oiler, whether or not that would look cool. Kane and Kane on the same team, Kane, McDavid, and Draisaitl on the same team. That would be fun. But I wanted to also talk about the Vegas thing just a little bit more because I don't think we expanded too much on that in the last video. If you had yourselves a line of Eichel, Kane, and Kessel, boy oh boy, is that just a phenomenal type of line. I get it, 2 of these guys technically play the right sometimes. Jack Eichel is the center down the middle, but just having an all-American line like that, it's like 2 distinct generations of American hockey coming together. Kessel and Kane, both 34 and 35 years old, or excuse me, 35 and 34 years old, and then Jack Eichel is 27. It's a pretty nice showcase of talent diversified throughout the American hockey system that it kind of works. And I mean, it works stylistically too. Patty Kane, the playmaking guy that can just throw pucks out to anywhere and it finds the stick of one of his teammates. Phil Kessel, the on-the-rush sniper. And Jack Eichel, just the workhorse that's able to open up space for everybody. I get it, Phil Kessel hasn't been the best this season, but neither has Patty Kane. And either of these guys getting that little boost of playing with an Eichel and playing with one of the other, it could be a very nice complementary line that kind of opens the door up to new offensive possibilities for the Vegas Golden Knights. You lose out on Mark Stone, you maybe lose out on a few draft picks, you maybe lose out on Brendan Brisson, but you gain Patty Kane in the short term, and then when Stone comes back in the playoffs, which you know is definitely going to happen because Nikita Kucherov had the same thing happen to him, you could have Stone, Kane, Eichel, Kessel, and, like, I don't know, whoever else it is on the power play that you wanted to put on there. This is fun. And I know for me, I would normally say, oh, the Vegas Golden Knights getting good. I don't want to see that happen because my Vancouver Canucks are in the Pacific and I don't want to see my Canucks getting dominated. But, like, come on. Patty Kane, short term, it's a playoff push right here for Vegas. My Canucks suck. I want them to lose every game now. Get Bedard. Get the first overall pick. I would like to see that more than anything. It was different with Eichel because Eichel came around and signed long term. It's different with all these other guys that are going to be sticking around for a very long while. Meanwhile, Patty Kane is not going to do that. He's going to be in, be out, just sign a contract elsewhere, maybe go back to Chicago, who really knows. If he ends up signing with Vegas, then that'd be the biggest improbability I feel possible that would actually end up finding itself possible. It's not going to happen, nor is he going to sign with the Oilers, even if he makes his way over to that team and starts dominating, lighting the lights out with the McDavids and the Draisaitl's of the world. The Oilers have been linked to everybody who is good anyway, like Karlsson and Kane. Obviously, there are rumors about both of these guys, but you know they're probably only going to be able to choose one. I mean, if they pull off both, then wow, crazy move. But another thing that I also wanted to talk about was the Vegas Golden Knights fans' reactions to this, because I was scrolling through their subreddit just trying to feel the market, how the people in Vegas, or I guess not necessarily in Vegas, but Vegas fans, how they're reacting to this sort of news that Friedman is like, yeah, no, I can see Vegas and Edmonton. Those are my two guesses. Apparently they don't like this. There's a growing acknowledgement that a guy like Patty Kane is probably cheaper than a player like Timo Meier, for example, but it is seeming to be just a more undesired move amongst this fan base to get a guy like Patty Kane. I'm not sure if it's entirely contract related, like, oh, they'd have to overpay for a guy who's so expensive, or, oh, they would have to overpay even more to get a 3-team trade to work so they could only take on a very small amount of that salary, 75% retained from other teams. And then there's a lot of concerns as to whether or not Patty Kane is still good, like whether or not he's actually worth the price. But I mean, look, we've talked about this in the prior video, but short-term pass, people, this is what you look at when you try to evaluate trade options for the immediate short term and into the playoffs as rentals. If the guy is on fire recently, that's kind of what you're hoping for, period. And Patty Kane has 5 goals in his last 2 games, 6 total points as well. Against Toronto, he was on fire, and he put that team on the map, showcasing himself off as the ultimate trade chip, which is sort of why now a lot of fans and media are going out there saying, yeah, no, Patty Kane still got it, baby. He's still out there, and he's trying to prove his worth, because even though the rest of the season, he's got 41 points, by the way, he might have looked a little bit lackadaisical here and there, not really all too engaged. He's playing on one of the worst teams the Chicago Blackhawks have had in years, so I could sort of understand if Kane is putting the foot back on the gas pedal a little bit, just to kind of accelerate the trade process here. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below about Patty Kane, the Oilers, and the Vegas Golden Knights. I hope you enjoyed this video. Juraj 99, and bye.